Hey guys, James here with Waterford Business Solutions. And being that we do a lot of outsourced bookkeeping and a lot of CFO services for clients, it requires us to work hand in hand with them and more importantly, their banks to get the information that we need. And so that's given us a lot of insights on what are some great banks to use and what are some not so great banks to use. So we wanted to do a quick little video here on what are banks that we as accountants love because it gives us a ton of information and it keeps it simpler for you as the client so that we're not having to request nearly as much information from you or work with you nearly as detailed as what we would with some of these other banks. Now, ultimately, please keep in mind there are a ton of banks out there. And while we work with a good bit of clients, and we've worked in a lot of banks, I'm not going to go over each and every bank that we've dealt with. That would be honestly so boring and numerous that you guys would probably hang up now, to be honest. We're really going to focus on the big national banks along with some big regionals that we see a lot of clients using. If they're like small, super local, credit unions, things like that, we're really not going to touch on that. What I will say, working with small, super local, small credit unions, small banks, they can be very hit or miss. We've had some really great ones out there that are amazing to work with, that are super up to date on their technology. And then we've got some other ones out there that it looks like they're stuck in the 1980s. So do be careful with those small super locals. They can be great, and I do recommend that a lot of clients keep a relationship with a credit union or a smaller local bank because they will generally provide higher CD rates, higher interest rates on their savings accounts, higher interest rates on their money market accounts, and or better interest rates on loans that they give you. So definitely something to keep a relationship with, but maybe not use as your primary bank. The other thing I want to define real quick is, at least in our opinion, what makes a great bank. And really that's going to come down to ease of access. How easy is it for you to add us to that bank? How easy is it for us to go into that bank and get information out? And how much can we see in that bank? Because the more that we can see, the less information we've got to come back to you as the client in a request. So things like, can we see your bank statements? That should be an at minimum, but there are banks out there that we can't see bank statements. Can we see your checks? If you write a check and we can't see the check, now we've got to request the check register from you. Can we see your bank deposits? And what checks or what cash or what's going on in those bank deposits? Because again, if you make a bank deposit and we can't see that, we've got to request that information from you. These are all things that put more onus on you and put more time on you to do what is needed to get accurate books and accurate financials. That's why we like kind of having these things. And then most importantly, does the bank have view-only access? You don't want anyone, even your accountant, having access to your bank accounts where they can add money, take away money, transfer money out, because at the end of the day, as trustworthy as your accountant should be, as trustworthy as they shouldn't touch anything, you never know. And it's just one more step of separation. It's one more protection. For us, it's nothing that we would ever want to touch. It's nothing that we would ever think of touching. But in case something goes wrong, that view-only access gives us the fact to be able to say, hey, we can't do this. We don't know what happened, or this is what we can tell you happened, but it wasn't us because we can't do it. So it's a protection level for us, but it's also a protection level for you. Because at the same time, as much as your accountant should be hiring trustworthy people, they should be doing background checks, they should be taking care of all this stuff, do they know? Now, that we've gone over all that definition and all that setup, let's talk about some different banks. That's what you're really here to hear. So let's start with kind of the big national banking chains. And to a point, these are hit or miss. While their online banking a lot of times is really great, their connection with bankers can be lackluster. It just really depends on the branch. It really depends on the bank. At the end of the day, the national chain that I tend to like best that has great online access, they generally have a lot of branches around, they've grown a lot, and they've got great access to bankers and everything. Generally, their bankers are really strong, and we've had a lot of compliments from customers, is going to be Chase Bank. That's generally always going to be my number one recommendation. Now, their savings rates, their interest rates, all of that, not nearly as good as some other banks, smaller banks, but that's why we say keep a connection with a smaller local credit union. Keeps it simple. But their apps are easy to use, their online portal's easy to use, it's super simple and super clean, and it gives us all the information we need as an accountant. Bank of America and Wells Fargo, they are also up there. Their apps and their online banking is great, but their bankers can be hit or miss. Some are really good, some get moved around a lot, so they are kind of hit or miss there if you want a solid relationship with one particular banker. That's why Chase is kind of a little bit higher for us in that regard. Truist also comes in there. Their online banking has gotten a lot better. Their bankers tend to be decently well involved, but the integration between SunTrust and BB&T, it was definitely a rough integration, and their online banking is not, and their apps are not nearly as robust and as clean as Chase, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America. So definitely one that we kind of, it's not one we won't recommend, but it's not out of the national chains, the ones that we really like. Navy Federal is another one that online banking is really great, and bankers are great, savings rates are great, interest rates are great. They check all of those boxes. But getting us access is a pain. Most of the time when a client joins us or signs on with us, it generally takes 1 to 2 months just to get access to their Navy Federal Credit Union, because you've got to fill out paperwork, not even an online application, but a physical sheet of paper. You've got to sign it. You've got to send it to your accountant. They've got to sign it. They've got to fill out paperwork. Then you've got to send it to a banker. Once you're in, it's not bad, but getting it set up is definitely one of the most complicated and the ugliest setups that we have. So definitely one that we tend to really recommend avoiding. Now, once it's set up, as long as you understand that it's going to be a pain to get your accountant or anyone to have that access, once it's set up, it's great. But if you're looking for quick, easy access, quick, easy setup, not the best one there. We'll still have it in our, sure, that's a good bank, but it's not going to be nearly what we're going to have with other banks. Now going into moving out of the big banks and moving into kind of more regional banks. Fifth Third Bank has a really good online banking portal. They serve a pretty large majority of the U.S., more kind of Midwest, a little bit in the Southeast, but they serve a good majority of the U.S., have a good bit of branches around so that if you're traveling or going someplace, it's easy to get stuff out of an ATM and everything. That's another big reason that we like the big national chains, is you almost can always find an ATM if you're traveling on a work trip or something like that and need to get cash out. But they've got a pretty good online setup there. They're getting us access is a little bit funky, but it's not horrendous there in the grand scheme of things. Nowhere near as bad as Navy Federal. Ameris is also a really good regional bank. They're mainly kind of relegated into the Southeast, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama. Nowhere near as large, but fairly Southeast regional with the bank. They've got a good online access. Getting us access has never been a problem. Their bankers have always been great for clients and are really strong there. So definitely one that we enjoy there. Huntington's another one. They've got one login that your accountant can have so that they've got every single client that they've got in one single login. Super easy to get added to that login. Being able to see all clients under that one bank definitely makes it a little bit easier. We've had a lot of compliments to the bankers and everything there. So definitely another regional one that we would recommend. I'm sure there's 1,000 that I'm leaving out. This is just kind of a quick, easy list. Otherwise, this video would probably be 2 hours long. Now, as far as banks that we don't like nearly as much, TD Bank is one, especially for a big national brand, that we really kind of avoid. Their online banking, honestly, is worse than some credit unions, is worse than some local banks. It's honestly amazing how abysmal their online banking is. So that's definitely one that we recommend avoiding with clients. Pinnacle Bank, they've got great bankers. We actually have relationship with a lot of Pinnacle Bank bankers. Again, they're kind of a Southeast related one. But their online banking, we can't view checks, we can't view deposit slips, so it's not nearly as robust as some other ones out there. US Bank is another one that they're a hard setup. They're hard to get off the ground. They aren't. We've never had a lot of compliments on their bankers. We've not got a really good user-friendly portal or anything there. So that's another one that we don't really like there. And then South State. They're actually growing very rapidly, doing a lot of buyouts. From a banker perspective, they're great with their bankers. From an online portal perspective, they're great there. Their downfall to us is to get into their online portal, you have to have one specific browser downloaded, a secure browser downloaded, and only one person can have access to that secure browser. So as long as your accountant only has one person going into your bank account, that's fine. But if you've got 2 or 3 or 4 people working on your account, at the end of the day, they're going to need stuff from this portal that is going to have to be supplied by one person. So that kind of acts as a crux to their operations. Banker-wise, they're great. Interest rates, they're great. But that portal really is one that kind of concerns us there. Credit card-wise, Chase, again, really great card there. The benefits off of Chase cards are really strong. If you've got a relationship with Chase Bank already, it's super easy to get a Chase Ink card or a business rewards card with them, and the benefits are fairly strong. American Express, another one, really good benefits, a lot of extra things that you can get off of an American Express. Easy for us to get in, easy for us to access a lot of information on there. Definitely one that we really enjoy there. Overall, we'll say their fees can be a little bit higher, so just make sure that you're picking the right thing. And American Express as a credit card isn't accepted in as many places as like a Visa would be accepted, like what you get with Chase. Capital One, great rewards, great benefits, great there. They do not have a view-only access. Now, when it's a credit card, we aren't as concerned on that personally, because at the end of the day with a credit card, I can't take money from your credit card. I can't move money around. The only thing I could do with your credit card is pay your credit card off, and if I'm doing that, you're not going to call me complaining. At least I would hope you're not calling me to complain if I gave you free money. So we're not as concerned with that as we would be with like an actual bank account. So credit card wise, there's still a pretty good credit card out there. Bank of America, they do issue credit cards, but we definitely prefer the Chase credit cards. The benefits, the rewards, all of that are better there. Same thing with Wells Fargo. It's just better rewards coming out. And a lot of times you really want to get with that Chase, Capital One, American Express as a credit card, because the benefits, the payback, the rewards, it's going to be much better than what any regular bank debit card or credit card is going to offer you there. So definitely something to consider there. If you need more information or help picking a bank that's great for you, or just need help at all in your accounting or financial understanding, don't hesitate to reach out to us here at Waterford Business Solutions. Give us a call at 864-351-0852 or shoot us an email at info@waterfordbusiness.com, and we'd be happy to help you out. Also, go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel here on YouTube. We put out videos every single Monday to help you understand banking, finances, business, taxes, anything under the financial and accounting realm. We've covered so many different things. And like and share this video to anyone that you feel could benefit from it.